didn't know we were smut peddlers.
We have That's going on the front of the show.
Welcome to the Vicis Interimo 30 Minutes to Kill podcast.
You are listening to the Vicis Interimo show. 30 Minutes to Kill, more or less. We're a horror movie review podcast featuring horror, suspense, and psychological thrillers. You can find us on iTunes, Stitchers, and Podomatic, just about anywhere. Just type in VICISINTERIMO. I am your host, Michael Mad Saxon Jones, here with my lovely wife and co-host, Lori. Hi, Lori.
Hello.
You're not going to serenade us, huh?
No.
All right.
Nobody wants to hear me sing.
Your school teacher didn't.
But I love singing.
That's not helping.
She wasn't my teacher.
Okay.
She was a terrible music teacher that would only come around every so often.
Anyhow, the show, that's what we're talking about. The show generally has 4 segments. A Laid to Rest, where we tie up any loose ends from previous shows or such. A short review of our featured movie. This time it's The Lodgers. We then have Garbage In, Garbage Out, where we talk about any movies, TV shows, books, anything we may have caught over the last week or so. And generally, sometimes, we end with a Crawling Chaos, a topic or factoid that we have never talked about before. Sometimes silly, sometimes serious, most always chaotic.
And do you have a Crawling Chaos for us today?
I should have signaled for you not to ask me that. No, I don't have anything picked right now.
Well, you better get with it and have something ready.
Well, I can't. I'm recording the podcast right now.
Well.
So, moving right along, let's just get into our
alrighty then.
Laid to Rest. Sorry for the delay on the new episode. First of all, I want to say a huge thank you to our patron, Big LV, who was a patron even before we had a Patreon page.
Wow.
Well, he was responsible for getting me a little bit more schooling before, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, before, just in the past he was. And so I bring this up because most recently I had I almost said I had a magic show that I did. I didn't do a show per se, but I was hired to entertain at a birthday party.
Right.
And, Al knows what I'm talking about. So anyhow, a huge thanks to Big LV. We do have other patrons too, though.
Yes, we do.
We have patrons such as @LonelyBob, who has a cool newsletter that I'll try to make sure to include a link there. And we don't want to forget Goldafish.
Nope.
And as far as that goes, we probably need to put more things on our group page, more just random things, because you never know when things might come in useful, right?
Right.
Yeah. So anyhow, anything to tie up from A Quiet Place?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. So I thought of other things that could have been done to improve the movie.
Okay, like
Finally.
that.
Oh, I wasn't going to go into all that because, who cares?
I do. I'm asking.
Damn it, I didn't write them down, so now you backed me into a corner.
You don't remember offhand?
I don't remember. It's been a long week and been a lot going on.
All right, you can edit that out then.
I think I will do that.
My ship's arrived. Okay, so why don't you ask me again if there's anything that...
Is there anything you could think of to add to a Quiet Place to make it better? Anything for that whole podcast even that... anything else you wanted to cover?
Anything I need to lay to rest?
You know what, folks? It's starting to get hot out here in California.
Yeah, it's finally warm, and we don't have air conditioning here.
Woohoo, yeah. But anyhow.
Hey, we're allowed to cry about it.
Anyhow.
Well, when it starts getting hot here and our Vegas friends yell at us about, oh, you think it's hot there, come out to Vegas. But they're sitting in their air-conditioned homes writing that to us while we're in our not air-conditioned homes sweating our butts off in the humidity. So on them.
Moving on to other topics earlier this week.
What else did we talk about in last week's episode?
Well, there were several different things, but more importantly, what I want to bring up is the fact that our throwback episodes,
yes,
our Throwback Thursday episodes, have now entered that phase of the lost episodes. There were about 30 episodes that were lost. However, I did find the raw feeds of them, which means that I am currently re-editing those for rebroadcast a second time.
And here I was going to say maybe they were lost for a reason.
Well,
maybe the cosmos snuffed them out for a purpose.
Maybe that's the fact.
But you're saving them and bringing them back.
I dug through lots and lots of discs to find the raw feed.
Oh,
and
boy.
What is that terrible clicking sound?
That's not terrible, is it?
Well, it's right in the mic.
Oh, like this? Sorry. I'm assembling some new Adamant and Billy Idol picture pendants.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, they're one of my best sellers on Etsy.
Let's just get to talking about the movie then.
Okay.
All right.
We came to this place and shut ourselves away, so nobody would know what we are.
Every sound the house makes, I hear them. They won't wait much longer.
Do you believe that two people can do something so unnatural that it leaves a stain on them? And that the stain goes on to their children? And to their children's children?
Say it and make us sick again. This house speaks to us. It belongs to us and we to it. They're coming.
The parents were suicides.
Drowned, all of them. Tomorrow I leave, with or without you. I won't stay and become what they did.
I know what you're like, you and your family. And you think I don't know what goes on in that place.
There's no name for what we are.
So the Lodgers.
Yes.
You asked me what I wanted since we somewhat strayed from arguably horror the last few episodes. And
and I gave you a choice.
You gave me a choice. What I wanted, I picked gothic horror, and that's what I got in spades.
Okay.
The Lodgers from 2017, 1920, rural Ireland. Some Irish twins share a strange existence in their crumbling family estate. Each night, the property becomes the domain of a sinister presence.
Okay.
Wow, that was freaking awesome, because I didn't know anything more. You had...
what was freaking awesome?
The movie, I loved it.
Really?
I did.
Okay.
I'm surprised that you're saying that, or maybe...
You liked it more than I did then, and I'm not saying I didn't like it, but
Okay.
I did not think it was awesome.
Really?
Really.
Wow, well, that certainly scratched the itch that I had to see something horror.
Oh, good.
I didn't know anything about it.
Me either.
Because you just kind of picked it off a list, or...
I found it on a guy's blog who felt he'd picked out the best 10 horror movies so far this year.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, this year is only half over, so he picked his favorite 10 so far, and this was one of them.
Okay.
So I wrote down, I think, all of them, so we might eventually hit each one.
I may even include a link to his blog if we can find that again.
Oh, dear. Okay, yeah, I don't know if I can find it again, but I probably can.
All right.
I could try.
So, not knowing what to expect, the first thing when I hear people living in a house and so on is my imagination jumps to something like The Others.
Right.
Or something like that, where the whole time I'm watching it, I'm thinking, well, these kids are obviously dead. They're going to be the ghost. They're going to be, and it's like,
Right.
well, this is going to be arguably a retread of something else that we've seen before.
And
but,
one of them never left the house.
well, yeah.
So we were like,
It's odd. Seems to be living by some supernatural rules of some sort.
right?
But I really loved it, so I'm going to let you
good.
start talking about it then, because
I'm just going to...
I'll elaborate then.
Okay,
Maybe.
I really liked it.
Okay.
I did. I really liked it. I'm
Okay.
just not hopping up and down about it like you are.
The special effects, the tension,
Yeah.
the slow build of...
Yeah.
Okay.
All of that was really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I
It
was...
was a great setting and location and acting, and there wasn't a ton of actors in it. There was just a few. That was
Okay.
totally fine.
Right.
Waldorf Frey was there.
You watch Game of Thrones? Yeah. Okay.
Or I could say Filch.
Yeah. Or Filch if you
Filch
watch Harry
was
Potter.
there.
Sure.
Yeah, he is a great actor. He's proven he could do anything.
Okay.
No, there were a lot of things I really loved about it.
But it...
I wanted more.
Okay.
More supernatural, more moments like that.
I think more would have... I think less is more in this case for me.
Okay.
The supernatural elements, the special effects,
Well,
the way it was done.
And we don't want to give
Was-
away what was going on.
No, we
but
don't, but-
I knew what was going on almost from the beginning, just because they dropped some really giant hints.
Okay.
So do you remember?
You knew for sure. I remember. I was going
Yeah.
to say that was one of the things I was going to
I
mention.
didn't know for sure, but I would have been surprised if it was something different.
Okay.
So maybe that was partly it. Maybe I was disappointed on what was going on there.
Okay.
And there wasn't enough explanation.
This is true.
Because
And-
it's a curse.
okay.
I think it's okay to say that because you learn right from the get-go, right out of the gate, that these kids are stuck in this house and they have to follow rules and they're under some kind of a curse. You learn that right away. So I'm not
Okay.
giving anything away.
Okay.
But when it unravels and you find out the shocking twists or whatever, it doesn't do anything to explain anything. It's like, oh, this is what happened. Surprise. Like, okay, well, I saw that coming. And what else?
Okay.
Why?
Okay.
Who? Why? Family history? Anything?
Okay,
Can I
okay,
have
well-
anything else?
Okay. I didn't need that. I understand what you're saying, though. It felt very Lovecraftian, or even like Poe. I'm thinking of the
Okay.
fall of the House of Usher.
Okay.
I'm thinking about those type of
Well-
story elements and so on. But then I understand what you're saying about you maybe wanted something stitched together for you a little better or a little more. I spent my time wondering about them, thinking about those things,
Right.
wondering.
Right.
But it's okay if it wasn't answered
Well, no,
for
you
me.
normally, you don't need every little thing. Well, and I almost said you don't need everything spelled out for you. That would mean that everything was there and you just couldn't find it. I found everything that was there. There wasn't a lot there, which is fine sometimes. But
Okay.
in this particular story, I was wanting to know more about the curse and how far it went back.
Well,
and,
I wanted to know-
what exactly were they getting out of the curse, these entities, or, I mean, we found out what they were getting, sort of.
So,
I don't know.
okay.
And I can't say everything that I want to say
I understand you
because
can't
then
say
there's
everything.
going to be spoilers.
Right, I got that.
But
I've
I'm
got
going to,
that.
here, play a little bit of music or something over me talking.
Okay.
Okay, edit this out.
I will edit this out. Okay.
Okay, end of music here. Okay, so do you see, these are the things that I had a problem with.
I see. I
You do.
understand. I see
Okay.
and understand that you have
Those are
the
valid,
problems.
they're valid gripes,
Those are
right?
absolutely valid gripes. Okay,
Okay.
I got that. But
All of those aside, I mean, it was very beautifully done. And
Oh, it was beautifully shot.
So
Tremendous.
maybe it was story problems then.
okay,
For me.
I felt like I could watch it again.
Okay.
Because I don't think I gleaned everything out of it that I
Okay.
could. And
well, maybe it would make more sense the second time around. And not make sense.
I understand.
Some of the problems that I just shared with you, and you only, maybe
they would have been answered, or maybe not necessarily answered, but maybe
I would catch something else that maybe. Yeah, I don't think so though.
Okay,
I don't know.
Fair enough. What's your number?
I would like to talk to the writer.
Okay, what's your number on this?
Probably a 4, close to a 4.
Okay, close to a 4 or a 4?
I guess a 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm giving this one a 5. For me, like I said, it scratched that itch that I had.
This is your perfect movie.
For what it was perfect. For Gothic horror, that was fine. I didn't need... Like I said, I could accept it in the way I would accept a short story.
In the non-Gothic horror world, in the world of just horror, would you still give it a 5? Since
no.
You're the one that put it in a subcategory.
Okay. Well, no, then, because yes, I would want more gore, more explanation. Not gore per se, but more... I would need more characters. I would need more... Like, if it was just...
Okay.
Does that... how that counts as being more horror or whatever, I don't know.
Right.
But it just...
So
for a Gothic horror period piece, for that, it's okay. But, I mean, it's great. But just to throw it in the general category of horror film,
right?
Then it would maybe be slow, and it would be the atmosphere.
So let's talk about recommend then. So you would recommend it to those who enjoy slower,
a good ghost story, yes,
like period piece type.
Yes, because the notes that I had here was like Crimson Peak.
Okay. I like that a whole lot more.
Oh, okay, but you know what I mean. It's to that, it's what it felt like to me. The house itself. Just the atmosphere, the special effects in here were great.
Yeah.
They were just the taste of enough to see, like, what the hell is going on here?
See, I think you just said it. It was just a taste.
Okay. So the house itself reminded me of The Evil Within, that video game.
Okay.
I could
see that.
You know, so there were so many things. And again, like maybe I was just starved for horror.
That might be it. Because you
so much else on my mind.
Keep using the term "it scratched an itch," but
getting ready for my magic performance and blah blah blah. So there are a lot of other, and we didn't talk about the fact that I have a different work schedule for this month and so on. So lots of things going on here. A few things tripped us up and so on. So this is why the episode is coming out now.
Why don't you tell me why this thing was called the Lodgers?
Because that was not their home. They were just there holding a place. They were just lodging there. They weren't the owners. They weren't the...
They were, though.
Yeah, but they weren't. That place belonged to someone, something. It belonged...
Are you sure they were the Lodgers, not the other...
No, I think they were just lodging there.
Well, that's I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer to that.
In the general sense that the people visiting the Overlook Hotel didn't belong there. Okay. Some did and some didn't.
Well, boy, the boy
sense,
would certainly disagree with you.
Well,
because he was like, this house belongs to us and we belong to it. Like they worked so much together that was maybe distracting to me too. I was like, why is this called the Lodgers?
Okay.
Because when I knew the title and I started watching it, I was waiting to find out who was going to be staying with them or who. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, wait, when do the Lodgers come in?
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, anyhow, all right.
So maybe I didn't like the title.
Right.
I don't know.
Anyhow.
I'm not sure what I'd...
I think it's a solid recommend if you want a good ghost story, if you want. Yeah, that's what I think.
It was an okay ghost story.
All right.
Was it a ghost story? I guess.
Well, yeah. It's okay. It's a supernatural entity story. Supernatural entities.
I mean, I guess. If you looked at the definition of ghost, I guess it's a ghost story.
Yeah, because I mean that brings up the thing. Have we ever done Ghost Story? I know we sat down and watched it at one endpoint. We should maybe do Ghost Story. I like that one. That was worth seeing again. Anyhow, I
love a good ghost story.
You know which one I'm talking about, though. Ghost Story. Peter Straub, I think. Was anyhow, getting off the topic. getting back to our review. Good movie. You give it nearly a 4. I give it a 5. I give it a solid recommend. You give it a solid recommend to anybody for looking for a ghost story.
It's not. It's if you're really in the mood for a horror movie, I don't know.
Okay.
This might not be it.
Okay. Yeah. So then, garbage in, garbage out. For garbage in, garbage out, my notes here say that said or pointed out the fact, of course, that we watched Ripper Street seasons 4 and 5.
Yes.
And if I thought season 3 was dark,
yeah.
Woo, season 4 so much darker.
Yes.
So much darker. Oh wait, I mean season 5. If you thought season 4 was dark, season 5 got
the lights totally went up.
Oh yeah.
What a great show.
What a great show. However, I don't know if we're going to be the only ones that talk about this. What is up with that editing? There was, midway through the season, this crazy edit where we're watching the previously on, which we generally don't. You know, because we're binge watching these things. We're watching them back to back.
Weren't we fast forwarding through the previously on?
Right, and suddenly we saw
something
scenes
go by. Yeah.
Yeah, that made no sense that we hadn't seen, and I looked online to see if there was an episode drop somewhere. I looked to see if maybe the stream we were watching had gotten corrupted or something.
Yeah.
And it's really weird, and nobody commented on this in any of the forums or anywhere that I saw it.
Yeah. It was a bit
if
strange.
anybody else chooses to watch Ripper Street from beginning to end.
And what season was it that did that? The second to the last one.
So season 4.
Season 4?
Somewhere in season 4, I believe. And there seemed to be some very vital information that was missing that dropped in.
Yeah.
Unless, see, I want to say, because I've done this before with other shows where we skip the intro.
Right. Oh,
and there's a scene ahead of time, or was it True Blood that I suddenly realized?
Before.
But this wasn't the setup on that show.
We've watched a couple different series where sometimes there's an opening scene and then it goes to credits, and then like the next episode it would just be the credits, and then it would go. So I wish shows would not do that.
Yeah.
Either stick to one formula and just stick to it.
Stick to one or the other.
But yeah, that was really weird.
Yeah.
Because previously on, and then it shows these scenes that were just so vital to the story.
Right.
But the odd thing was the two things it showed us, then when we watched that episode, it was like almost like those little glimpses was enough for us to know what was going on.
Yeah, I guess.
So it was a BBC show as far as I could tell.
Or was it Amazon Prime? Or I don't know.
It was... What was my point? You derailed me. I had a point.
Sorry.
Just blathering on about that. Just either, they decided that they had to, did they have to cut them short? Or, because some of them were like 50 minutes, some were like an hour and 10.
Yeah.
Was there some reason one of them...
Something wound up on the cutting room floor?
Something had to be cut?
Maybe
yes. So they just cut that out, but just put that little bit in the previously on, just so we would know what the H was happening?
Maybe so.
It was really weird.
A little odd. I want to know if
But don't let them keep you away from it.
Right, exactly.
You've got to watch Ripper Street. If you're into crime drama, if you're into Victorian, filthy, dirty London type era, watch it. It is excellent. The characters are great. And if you watch Game of Thrones, Bronn is there as a good guy. So go check it out.
All right. So the other thing that I was going to talk about for Garbage In, Garbage, I've got a couple others that I want to save for next week. But True Detective, we did the second season of True Detective. What did you think about that?
I really enjoyed it a lot.
Really?
I know a lot of people liked the first season better. They were different. They were different, but the same.
Very different. I was fascinated to see, because the way that True Detective season 2 went, it was out here in LA. It was about a incorporated area here in
Vinci.
LA, Vinci, a fictitious place, but it's just this area that was living outside of the rest of the county.
It was in Los Angeles, but it was its own
entity.
Yeah.
And therefore it had its own system of way of doing things, and they were able to collect monies and so on that was separate from the state.
Yeah.
And
it was just a bunch of gangsters running it.
ridiculous. Ridiculous.
A bunch of white suits running it.
So the point here, though, was the things that happened and stuff was fascinating to see. The aerial shots of LA. You can see how densely packed we are here and how we need to get out of here.
When was this supposed to be?
Early.
I don't want to get it confused with Mindhunter now.
No, 20.
Did they give us a date?
They gave
exactly?
us. It was current times when it came out, so it's been a couple years ago, and so it was the early 2000s or whatever.
Yeah.
It made references to the LA riots, though, a lot eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, is that a spoiler? I don't want to say.
I don't think so.
But so anyhow, it was fascinating living out here. It made it even more
so I don't live anywhere, never been here to LA ever in my life. Am I still going to enjoy it?
Absolutely. If you like human dramas, if you like crime dramas, if you like gangster flicks, if you like all of those things, broken people.
I was going to say it's more broken people.
And this time we were dealing with 4 main characters as opposed to just the 2 that we really basically had in the first True Detective series.
Right.
I'm sorry that they didn't continue on with it, to do other seasons of it. I don't know if there are going to be other seasons, a 3rd season, 4th season. I only saw the 2 seasons up.
Yeah, but what years did they come out?
It's been a couple years now. It's been a couple years back now.
Well, anthology series like that, I guess, don't necessarily have to come out every year. I mean, I do hope they make more.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like a Fargo kind of thing, though these 2 weren't connected.
Right.
Fargo, they're slowly weaving them together.
Yeah.
By the way, where the heck's the new season of Fargo? Sheesh, I'm waiting.
And do we mention the fact that we're recording this, the tie-in with True Detective, of course, being that Vince Vaughn was picked up today for drunk driving.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn, shame on you. Picked up again. Yeah, got caught in a check.
Guy got caught in a sobriety checkpoint or whatever.
Just right here, one town over from
Manhattan
us.
Beach, was it?
Yes. Gosh, what's he doing in our neck of the woods?
I don't know.
What's he doing in Manhattan Beach?
Getting drunk, I guess.
He was just a mile or 2 from here.
Having a drink, I guess.
Gosh, Vince.
Oh, gosh. I wonder if they've got the mugshot up. I'll have to include that in the artwork.
No. Leave him alone.
Hey, it happens to the best of people.
Yes,
I'm not
going
to worry about that. I'm going to say Mindhunter. You kind of talked about that or brought up that thing. I don't want to talk about Mindhunter yet.
Okay.
Because while we seem to be on a crime spree kick as far as what we're watching lately, I'm
thinking about going on a crime spree.
I do want to tie that into another Gacy film. I'm working on the as far as a horror movie and stuff. I am working on a slideshow. We talked some time ago about going to see Gacy's work.
Right.
Mindhunter, I feel, ties in a little bit with that for me, anyhow.
Sure.
But I think we need to do another serial killer horror movie.
Okay.
And so that will be upcoming. And I'm going to do a plan on releasing that with a patron preferred link, so that the patrons could watch that. And maybe anybody that follows us on Twitter, because we are now on Twitter at Vicis Interimo.
Okay. Before?
Because remember I told you about the thing getting hacked and all that porn showing up on there and all that other stuff?
Oh, you didn't tell me about that.
Oh, well, there was no need to get into all that. So anyhow,
I didn't know we were smut peddlers.
We have that's going on the front of the show. We have a all new, all wholesome Twitter account here at Vicis Interimo.
Because we are a family show.
We are, for the most part, a family show.
In spite of doing a horror review podcast.
Right, we try to keep it family friendly.
Yeah. Well, the movies aren't always, and we'll tell you if they're not. Usually we talk about that. We haven't been talking about that lately.
Because we haven't done anything that's been that off the wall or whatever. Anyhow, you know what? we are doing what we're doing. I'm going to do a little bit of checking, and I'm sure that I have a fascinating
good.
crawling chaos that you have stored somewhere.
Oh, did I? Okay, so you're saying I have to.
So I hate to turn it over to you to do your own homework on the crawling chaos, but there's no flippin' way I'm going to be able to read all those Greek words and such.
You don't have to do that.
Well, here's what I want to talk about, though. I want to talk about the Satan's throne. It's the Temple of Pergamon. Am I saying that right? Temple in Pergamon?
In Pergamon. Yeah, it's not there anymore. It's in a museum in Berlin.
Okay, because it was taken there, it was first uncovered in 1864, I think, by a German engineer that it was discovered there. Taken to a museum that was opened in the 1930s.
Yeah.
But it claims to be the Temple of Satan. And, well, it was the Temple of Zeus, but it's also called or referred to as that. But I need to read this if I can find, because somewhere over here I've got...
You should probably start by talking about that the throne of Satan is mentioned in the Bible in Revelation.
Is mentioned in Revelation, yeah.
And so many people believe this Temple of Zeus
is actually what they were referring to? Okay.
Is the actual throne of Satan mentioned in the Bible.
Okay.
Which, I'll buy that.
All right, but here's the thing.
The timing is right and everything.
So, if I can find it here, I've got all my books here on the shelf. I've got the Bible up here with the Necronomicon and some scam school books and podcasting, so no telling what you're going to pull off the shelf here. 213. All right. 213. Oh, yeah, well, there it is. Okay.
Let's hear it.
No, because I can't read.
Okay, so it's Revelation.
It's Revelations 2:13 is what they're drawing from. I'm just going to
Revelation
2:13,
verse 13.
2:13, yeah.
Okay.
I know where you dwell and where Satan's throne is, and you may hold fast my name, which you did not deny, and blah. Okay, so.
And it says somewhere that it was written to the church of Pergamum?
Yes.
Okay. So somebody somewhere went to Pergamum and went to the mount where they felt like that should be, and that is what they found.
This is what they found there.
Yeah, it's not literally a throne, it's a giant altar.
Giant altar.
But it looks like, I mean, if Satan was a giant, that would look like a throne.
Sure, but I didn't think that the Romans did sacrifices to Zeus or whatever, because wasn't Lycaon turned into a wolf or whatever? Isn't that where we get werewolves from? Because
yeah, but we probably shouldn't throw that in the mix now too.
Yeah, that's maybe all too much. So
well, you know, a lot of times, well, it even happens here too, doesn't it? I was going to say there's a church, or a church in the bigger sense,
right?
Like a big idea, a church that spreads out,
right,
to the people,
right?
A church,
right?
And then
they can't see all your finger motions and stuff.
I'm doing big, big
arm movements, but anyway,
hand and arm movements,
sure, gotcha,
to help describe,
right?
Well, because I don't mean literally one little church,
right? Okay,
I mean a church as an idea,
right,
as a sect or whatever.
Okay.
They all spread out and go all over the place.
Right.
It doesn't mean everybody's going to still do the same thing.
Okay, that's true.
It sounds like something went really wrong here.
Okay.
Because it was a temple to Zeus, like you said. That wasn't normally people didn't do blood sacrifices to Zeus, but I read over there. Now I'm pointing to my computer, and we'll put all these links for anyone that's interested.
Anybody
because we're making this sound really lame.
It's even more chaotic than usual.
But it's really interesting, and it's way more involved and complicated. So we'll try not to make it worse. But What was I saying I spread over there?
You had read over there that it had
spread. Well, I called it like what some of the darkest times of the Roman Empire, and so there was something going on there that was abnormal.
Okay.
I mean, that was different than what the other... Because, I mean, the Romans spread out and conquered everybody everywhere.
Right.
There was something unique about this area.
Okay.
I mean, so unique and wrong that it was written about in Revelation as that being the seat of Satan and that his throne was there. So...
Okay. So,
but what was there was this temple to
temple
Zeus.
here that tells Zeus. Okay.
Yes.
So,
which you can now see in Berlin. Or you could look at pictures of it on the internet.
So, in a even more chaotic than usual crawling chaos.
You picked the wrong crawling. I had a lot. So you should have picked the destructive worms in France or something. I had simpler
simpler things to talk about.
Simpler topics. This one was this is a big complicated topic.
All right, you know what?
But it's interesting.
I think we've killed it. Oh yeah, whether it be anthropology or archaeology or whatever you're choosing to.
If you'd like to learn more about it, we're going to have links in the show notes.
Why are you listening to this podcast then if you're into those kind of things? Well, anyhow, everybody.
Why not?
Whatever. Okay, so I think we killed it.
Yes. Where can people find our show notes?
They can find us on Podomatic.
Is that where the show notes are?
That's where the show notes are, on Podomatic. You can find us, as I said before, on Stitcher, Podomatic, just about anywhere. Just typing in Vicis Interimo, VICISINTERIMO.
And come by Facebook and join our group if you like.
Sure. We're going to be putting things up there.
We do have 2 pages.
A page and a group page.
Yeah, just to make it more complicated.
And to make it even more complicated, we're also, like I said, on Twitter. And I want you to join or follow us on Twitter so you can get more up-to-date type things and some unique things that you may not find anyplace else.
So you're going to keep up with the Twitter.
I'm going to try to make an effort to do a little bit more on that.
My personal recommend is joining our Facebook group. And we'll put a link to the Facebook group in the show notes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because almost everything goes on there.
Sure, exactly. All right, I think that's it.
Okay.
Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for our next Throwback Thursday episode.
What's that going to be?
It is Seventh Moon. Do you remember that, Amy Smart?
Oh,
where she goes overseas.
It was in Europe. It was
not in Europe. It was.
Oh, it was in Asia.
Yeah, that's the
right.
one. Yeah.
I do. I remember.
You should listen to that, maybe.
Oh no, I don't think I can. I'll leave that up to everyone else. I do remember it now, though.
Okay. At any rate, folks, thanks for listening and putting up with our ridiculousness.
Yes, and sorry about the crawling chaos. It really is interesting.